It is February 2004. Between election ads, families in North Carolina are glued to Channel 14, wanting to know if school is canceled due to snow. Suddenly, their broadcast gets hijacked. Instead of knowing if your school is going to be canceled or not, a simple message flashes across their screens. All your base are belong to us. What the fuck? What does that mean? Is that a message from Saddam Hussein himself? No, you know that and I know that. But as people scramble to figure out what the fuck is going on, students from North Carolina State University are #LOLing, as one would say. Why is that? Because 3 years earlier, this phrase took over the entire internet. And it all started with a pretty horrible, fucking video game translation. It all started back in 1989 with the side-scrolling arcade game Zero Wing. It's similar to Gradius, I guess, but all things considered, it's a pretty fun game if you like side-scrolling shooters. The famous intro is not present, however, but all that would change with the 1991 European port of the game to the Sega Mega Drive. As we know, the original arcade version did not have an intro, so one would need to be created. And without any dedicated translators, they needed to rely on an employee who worked in overseas exports to do it. And we're here, so I feel it's best to just let the translation play for itself. In AD 2101, war was beginning. What happened? Someone set up the bomb! We get signal! What? Main screen turn on. It's you! How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction. What you say? You have no chance to survive. Take your time. Ha 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 ha! Captain! Take off every zig! You know what you're doing! Move! Zig! For great justice! But how could a European release of a Japanese arcade game grow to become such an internet sensation? Well, it would take a while, but in 1998, when a GIF version of the intro was posted to the site Rage Games, later on moving to zany video game quotes, this is where it would begin to gain popularity. However, it wouldn't really be until June 5th of 2000 when the webcomic and emulator hosting site Overclock.org posted its 116th episode, the Zero Wing Dub project. And this is really where the ball began to start rolling. The dub project would make its way all the way to Something Awful, and be referenced here, posted there, until September, when a goon named Alf posted Alf, but on the phone. And another goon, Starscream, adds a speech bubble to Alf, who, as we remember, is on the phone, where he states, all your base are belong to us. How funny. I lolled at this. And people on Something Awful also lolled at this, as one does. But people also realized, wait, I could make this too, and people would lol at it. And people would. By November, things truly exploded, and a thread titled All Your Base Are Belong to Us, with 2 exclamation points, spawned Photoshop after Photoshop, and, you know, all your base are pretty much belonging to any situation right now. And this is really where the Something Awful era of the meme would breach containment, and start to spread across form after form. Sites like Arc Technica posting election coverage, a state, all your votes belong to us? And, you know, there would be an all your base thread pretty much on any gaming forum. But how can we forget the song? We've gotten this far and we haven't mentioned it yet? Not anymore, because we're about to right now. The song that made it all possible is The Invasion of the Gabber Robots by the Laziest Men on Mars. the stage name of Jeffrey Roberts, a something awful user known as JRR, who sadly passed away in 2011. It is a Gabber remix of Zero Wing's intro music. If you aren't aware of what Gabber is, imagine hardcore techno, but you crank it up at minimum 11. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's relentless. The perfect audio accoutrement for the impending invasion. But the song alone wouldn't be enough. It needs visuals. We shall now meet Bad CRC, a user on Tribal War, a forum for the Tribe games. In December of 2000, he starts his own All Your Base thread, as many have done before. But his thread would eventually get so large that people eventually thought that this was where the meme started. This was due in part due to the Something Awful thread glitching out, and then when a mod's account got hacked, the first page went down, so it kind of became virtually impossible to find for the longest time. So, due to all that, Tribal War would be left to pick up where Something Awful left off. But, even if his thread wasn't the original, it did still have a lot of Something Awful stuff ported over, because people were taking it and posting it without permission, as people tend to do. But, nonetheless, in February of 2001, he combined all of the photoshops with Invasion of the Gabber robots into a flash animation and posted it to Newgrounds. All Your Base Are Belong to Us, as it would be known, would be the shot that rang across the world. Reading some of the original comments, it's really interesting to see, since you get to see everything before it became a global phenomenon. Comments such as, LOL! LMAO! Ha! All Your Base Are Belong to Us? And, wow! Funny stuff. This is hilarious. Nice including OJ and Al Gore. This deserves a ton of credit for a first try. Everyone, watch this. It's a good laugh. And how can we forget? Not bad. This was pretty cool, except for one little problem. The god-awful translation. The syntax is all wrong. Like, come on. All Your Base Are Belong to Us? Correct translation = all your bases belong to us. Like, duh. Come on. Yes, it's catchy, but get a goddamn dictionary. 3 exclamation points. Jesus! 1 exclamation point. Funny stuff indeed. Stuff so funny that it would seep its way into every corner of the inter and ofternet entirely. All Your Base would find its way into the San Francisco Chronicle, The Guardian, and USA Today. But unlike our modern memes, which die in about, I want to say 2 seconds, this one kept chugging along. And eventually, that would get it into hot water. Up until this point, people bringing the meme into the real world, they've been doing it fairly lightheartedly. A sign here, a poster there. But what's the worst that could happen? And that would happen on April 1st, 2003 in Sturgis, Michigan. 7 people, aged 17 to 20, placed signs throughout the town of Sturgis reading, All Your Base Are Belong to Us. You have no chance to survive. Make your time. The make your time part is what got them into trouble. As you see, just 12 days earlier, the Iraq War started. So a lot of people who didn't get the meme thought that this must be a sign from dastardly Saddam Hussein himself that he put WMDs within the town. All the people that put the All Your Base signs were charged with disorderly conduct, which I don't know if I agree with that. Apparently, this harmless April Fool's Day joke turned into a criminal matter. Which brings us back to North Carolina in 2004. When All Your Base started to flash across the screen, you would think that parents would be like freaking out and stuff. All Your Base? What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, no, apparently not. There were as far as I could find, 0 complaints filed to Channel 14, and there were things on there that were much more raunchy than All Your Base. Oh no. But I guess everyone LOL'd at that, so whatever. In 2006, Fox 32 Chicago did a whole report on the fad, which is honestly kind of fascinating because there really weren't any terms popular yet to describe what All Your Base was.
It's so cool a phrase, even the president is using it. Or is he?
Greg Linsday from Insider.com, when interviewed, compared it to the "What's up?" Budweiser commercials.
Watching Budweiser commercials and going around and saying "What's up?" to everyone. It's the exact same concept.
The anchors would call it a strange phrase and a cyber saying. It's a real interesting glimpse into the world before the internet kind of took over everything. But, side note, hell yeah, cyber saying. But by the time the 2010s roll around, as what happens to anything as time progresses, All Your Base fell out of fashion. New things took over. Lolcats, Rickrolling, Ouija, YouTube poops. But the phrase that dominated the early 2000s moved on, like all memes do. However, that is not where its story ends, my dear viewers. All Your Base, simply put, was the blueprint for what was to come. It provided that a simple joke from a poorly translated Japanese video game could become more culturally significant than $million-dollar ad campaigns. It could get people arrested. It could confuse entire generations of parents on what the kids are saying these days. 6, 7. It could force mainstream media to scramble for words like cyber saying because they had no framework to understand internet culture. You know, before social media, before the kids TikTok, before going viral was a phrase, All Your Base showed us that the internet could create its own culture, and that culture can be powerful enough to break into the real world. whether that real world was ready for it or not. 24 years later, every meme that confuses parents, and viral phrases and fucking whatever that jump from the online world to the offline world have the same legacy that All Your Base brought to us. Because all your bases belong to us. And they always will.